Now, Eskom is enforcing stricter regulations on grid-tied solar power systems. The power utility says all grid-tied solar power systems connected to its network that are not registered with it are illegal, even if they are not feeding electricity back into the grid. It comes as the power utility and municipalities ramp up efforts to enforce stricter controls on solar systems connected to the grid. For more on this, we are joined virtually by Eskom Spokesperson Daphne Mokwena. Daphne, thanks for joining us. It's good to have you here.
Good morning, Leanne, and good morning, Sakina, and good morning to the viewers.
Thanks, Daphne. I mean, I suppose I'll be held accountable to viewers if I don't ask you possibly the most common question we've been asked this morning. Yeah. Do you own the sun?
We don't definitely own this one.
So why are you asking us to register our solar systems?
But we own the network.
I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. So
we own the network that supplies electricity to the customers.
But the energy comes from the sun. So people are asking, why? Why must I register with you when the energy is actually coming from the sun? It's not coming from you.
So, yeah, and maybe we just need to start by saying that as Eskom, we do support, the embedded generation or integration of renewable sources like your rooftop solar or small-scale embedded generators. And I think we also need to confirm that we will facilitate smooth access, or connection when customers apply for such. However, Leanne, this has to be done in an orderly manner based on established rules, because there are rules that are established when customers are connecting, to the grid. Unless if a customer has a rooftop solar or a small scale embedded generator, but he's totally off the grid. So, and as a licensed electricity distributor, Eskom must adhere to these rules, and these rules are not Eskom's rules, but are NERSA's legal and statutory requirements that that ensures that there's safety into the network that we are looking after, or we own and look after, or licensed to actually distribute this energy to our customers.
So let's have a look and see, perhaps from data, because I'm looking at perhaps what is now outdated data. This was about the middle of last year, and it was saying that more than half of South Africa's rooftop solar PV are not registered. Where are we at now?
Yeah. So, as I said, that maybe let me start also just to emphasize the need for customers to actually connect to ensure that they register, or those that requires to have a license ensure that they are licensed to be generators. So what we're saying is that all grid-tied, small scale embedded generators, like those that have rooftop solar panels, need to comply with what we call the NRS 097 Part 2 standards to protect our staff and the public, even if they are not exporting to the network. And where we are currently, because we have, and this is not something new, that we are encouraging customers to come forward to register with us as Eskom, but it's something that has been running since 2019 and 2020. So we've been, encouraging customers. We've been on webinars, encouraging customers to come forth so that they can be registered and do, and have their connection compliant. So what we have currently, where we are sitting currently as Eskom, we've got about 1,300 customers that have registered with us. But we've got more than that of customers that have come forward and have applied. But what we have seen is that customers do apply, but they don't come back because of the requirements, because one of the key requirements is that even if you are not exporting back into the grid, you need to ensure that you have a qualified engineer or technologist to ensure that whatever a system that you have installed in your in your yard, or that you have installed as a customer, complies with this NRS 097.
Okay, so I'm going to throw a few questions at you just because I know there's a lot. Viewers have been writing in as well. So do I have to apply before I put the panels up? And if I have put panels up, what then? Do I need an inspector to come and have a look at them to ensure that they are compliant and not deemed illegal? Talk to me about the process and where we're at.
Yeah, so it is advisable that customers must apply before they install, because then they would know what is it that is required from them in terms of having a quality supply installed. And in terms of the capacity as well, because depending on the capacity that you are installing as a customer, it will require you either to register also with NERSA or just with Eskom, or the supplier or the distributor who's licensed, that your system will be connected or grid tied to. So that is what is advisable. But we know currently that we've got customers that have already installed these systems in their properties. So what we have done as Eskom, we have been running a campaign that will end in March 2026, where we are encouraging customers to come forth and legalize their connections. And in that, and we're saying this, actually, it's a time limited and an incentive kind of campaign, because in this period, we don't expect customers to pay for connection fees. But obviously, if it does require that Eskom must install, for an example, accommodate a smart meter into a meter kiosk or install such, then we would obviously quote the customer and the customer needs to pay for such installation. However, I think customers must just take this opportunity where we are saying that they can come forth and they don't have to pay for connection fee, and actually register their connection so that they can be legalized.
Okay, so Daphne, talk to me about the costs associated with this. If I want to have these panels put into my home, is it going to cost me anything to register them? If I already have them, is it going to cost me to register them?
So what we're saying with this campaign is that those customers that have 50 kVA and below, and even if it's within a shared transformer, they don't need to pay a connection fee. However, the only thing that will be required from a customer is that they need to ensure, because that rests with the customer, that they need to ensure that somebody like an authorized person, like an engineer or qualified engineer or technologist, need to ensure that whatever that they have installed does comply with the NRS 097. So they will need, unfortunately, they would have to pay for that or pay that engineer or technologist who would ensure that they are whatever that they have on their, or that they have installed in their homes is or qualifies, or goes or it complies with the NRS 097 standards.
Yeah.
But anybody who has installed a capacity from 50 kVA and below, we are running this campaign up until end of March 2026, where we would not charge the customers, even though they have installed their system. But as I said, that if we discover that there is something that the customer didn't do accordingly, and that needs Eskom probably to rectify and will cost Eskom to rectify, that's where we will charge the customer. But otherwise, it is for free for now.
Okay, but the frustration
Yeah.
that you're causing South Africans is also one of the issues here. I mean, once we've put the question out there, so many people are just saying, here's one, let's perhaps put them up on the screen, because these are some of the responses that the viewers have been sending us. I'm not sure which one the team are going to put on, but, morning everyone. There must be many in the country who, like me, have tried registering their installation. Eskom staff was so confused as to how to do this, and I was advised to wait until there was more clarity and what forms to fill out and to register. This is from one of our viewers called Trevor. So it seems your staff is not even sure of how to register.
Yeah, look, initially, Leon, when we started, because we had applied to introduce a new tariff to NERSA, and I think this is where the confusion came in, but that was before. Hence now you would know that this tariff, the Home Flex, has been approved, and now we encourage customers, obviously, because when they apply, we also put them in the correct tariff, like that Home Flex tariff that has been approved. So at that time, yes, at the beginning of this process, yes, there was a little bit of confusion in terms of how do we deal with this, because we were also waiting for NERSA to approve this tariff. But currently, our resources are being trained, or our staff have been trained, and they know exactly what to do. And we've got the necessary forms on our website that can be accessed, that customers can fill in, and they are simple to fill, but and they also guide the customer in terms of what is required of them for us to be, or for them to be able to register their connections.
So Daphne, let me ask you this then. So will Eskom make it illegal to disconnect from the grid when that starts to become the norm? And what penalties will be associated with this for South Africans that have not registered? What will happen to them?
So, Leon, I wouldn't encourage that we get into that point, and hence that's why we are running this campaign up until end of March 2026, which gives customer ample opportunity or time to ensure that they do register with us. However, if beyond that we do find customers that have not registered, or businesses currently that have not registered with Eskom, because as I said, that it is not Eskom's rules, but these are Electricity Regulation Act, and they are NERSA requirements that this must be, all these must be registered, or SSEGs as we call them, or small scale embedded generators must be registered. And we are also, as a licensee, required to report these annually to NERSA as part of our license. Hence, after 2026, unfortunately, we will have to penalize our customers for residential, as you have, when you started the interview, you said this is illegal. So in terms of illegal customers that are connected or that have tampered with our system, this is how these customers will be dealt with, where they will be required to pay tamper fines, which is currently about 6,052. But we don't want to go to that point. Hence, we've got this campaign that we're running up until March 2026, and we're still encouraging customers to actually come forward and register with us to avoid this unnecessary cost.
All right, many also saying another money-making scheme from Eskom. But I have to leave it there, Daphne. I'm sorry. We have to say goodbye. Thank you for joining us. We will get you in again. We need to get you in again with this campaign running currently. Yes. Daphne Mokwena, Eskom spokesperson, speaking about homeowners with rooftop solar systems that need to register them and be compliant with Eskom, even though they don't own the sun. She admitted it, which is a good thing. But people are not.
So happy. You have until March 2026?
Yeah.
So don't leave it to the last minute. All right.